Welcome to my LGBT lesbian channel. The series Checkmate, Stripper and Dance for Me are voiced for you in full history. Thank you for your comments, reactions and subscription to my channel. Have a nice day everyone. Lauren Yaregui's point of view. 1 month later. I nodded for the 10th time in less than 15 minutes to the woman that reported the facts of the possible theft in her house. I was beginning to think that by her age the poor woman needed some excitement in her life, and reporting the facts of a theft in her residence would help a lot. Because in less than a month she had already showed up at the police station 4 times, and every time she had only talked about the one object that she believed to have been stolen. Age really affects people. She narrated the events with such vehemence that I could believe to be real, when in fact it was just a fiction created by her unoccupied mind. Slowly I leaned my body, leaving my spine fully upright. Sitting for a long time made me incredibly lazy. And I saw when he jumped the fence. The gray-haired woman completed. I lifted my gaze that met the woman's, who kept a distressing expression. "You saw the man jump the fence of your house?" I asked in disbelief. "Yes, Deputy." I let out a breath of air, letting my body lean against the chair. Mrs. Dolores, as she was called, had come to the police station this morning stating that her TV teleking had vanished from her house. That when she sat on her old couch to watch her morning cooking show, she noticed that it was no longer there. "Mrs. Dolores, with all due respect, where is your son? Does he know that you left the house?" "He went out to fix the tire of our car, Deputy." "Do you have his phone number? We can call him to solve this problem," I said in the most patient way possible. The woman nodded, grabbing her phone from inside the small brown purse that remained on her lap. With wavering fingers, she typed her son's number to then press call. As soon as the man picked up, the woman extended the device towards me so that I spoke to him. The raspy voice on the other side of the line apologized for the inconvenience and informed that he'd arrive within a few minutes to solve the problem. "There we go. Mrs. Dolores, your son Mark is on the way," I said, handing the phone back to the woman. "But what about my TV, Deputy?" she asked impatiently. I sighed, exchanging a quick glance with Veronica, who was at her desk in the back, holding in an amused laugh. To then return my attention to the woman who was staring at me waiting for a solution. "We've already located it, and it's in the living room of your house right now. From where it never left." "All that is great news, honey. I was really worried. That TV was a present from my husband. And it has a great sentimental value to me. I imagine, ma'am." Even though that type of situation left me incredibly irritated, today I was in a good immutable mood. I mean, not so much. But still this afternoon I would receive the answer about my transfer along with Vero to the police station of the city of New York. It was my opportunity to change my life, and nothing could ruin it. I saw Officer Josh knock lightly on the glass door of my office, when I waved briefly for him to come in. "Excuse me, Deputy." The man spoke upon entering my office. "Yes, Josh? The lady's son is waiting for her." "Ah, great," I said, relieved. "Mrs. Dolores, it was a pleasure to see you here again." "Thank you, Deputy. You are always very kind to me." I smirked, and got up from my chair to walk in slow steps to the elderly. The woman wrapped my waist with her arms, giving me a warm hug. "Mom," Mark spoke embarrassed when we came out of my office, "I already told you not to leave the house without me." Mark was already a mature man. He should be in his early 40s. He had a strong physique, but nothing muscular. His hair was cut in military style, accompanied by a stubble beard. The few times I had seen him, he seemed to be very attentive with Mrs. Dolores, always taking her out of unusual situations. My TV was stolen, son. He gave me a sheepish look as his hands rested on the woman's tired shoulders. 1,000 apologies, Deputy. Don't worry, Mark. I don't even know what to say, he said as he laid eyes on his mother. You don't have to say anything, just take your mother home. Thank you again. The man led the woman out of the police station, as he murmured calmly that she shouldn't show up here without his presence. Perhaps the woman had some hearing problem or she just ignored her son's words, because she didn't even pay him attention. She must like this police aura. Vero spoke as she approached. I faced my best friend with a frown. You think? I'm sure, or she's into you. Shut up, I exclaimed, pushing her with my body. I went back to my office hearing Vero's laughter in the background. It's not funny, this is frustrating. What is? Everything. Nothing ever happens in this police station. I spoke as I sat back on my chair. It means that everything is fine, Lauren. I huffed as I leaned over my desk. You should be happy about this. I know, but I'm not. Perhaps this can improve your mood? I partially lifted my head to look at Veronica, who with the tip of her fingers dragged a sheet of paper on my desk. I accommodated myself on my chair, picking up the paper. Read it to me, Lauren. I lifted my gaze to the woman who was standing in front of my desk. Vero crossed her arms with a broad smile, which made me even more curious about what was on that paper. Dear Ms. Yaregui, I hereby inform that we received your transfer request to the police station of the City of New York. And through a careful analysis of your police background, we verified that you are duly incorporated in the requested requirements for the position of admission. If it is still of your interest, get in contact with our base. Best regards, Roger Brandon. Vero, I whispered after lowering the sheet of paper and faced my best friend. Yes? I breathed slowly, not believing what I had just read. The words seemed scrappy in my head, as if they were written in a language in which I wasn't fluent. This letter, it. Yes, Lauren, you have been accepted, she said excitedly. Oh my God, Iglesias. I got up from the chair quickly. I'm going to New York. Vero, fuck. People outside the office would think that I was having some kind of psychotic outbreak, but it was just happiness. My life's opportunity was now in my hands in a small piece of paper. I hugged Veronica, who reciprocated in an excited way, when I suddenly remembered. Wait, but what about you? I asked with certain concern. Veronica's brown eyes connected to mine, bringing with them a mystery that afflicted me. Going to New York has always been our dream. We made these plans since high school, and going without Iglesias wouldn't be the same thing. Lauren, Vero began crestfallen. No, oh my God, no. Vero, don't tell me that. I let out softly. Of course I'm going with you, bitch. Do you really think that I would let you hook up with all the women of New York without me? Bitch, keep dreaming. With an out-of-the-ordinary joy, I grabbed Veronica in an excited hug. You son of a bitch, you scared Mel. Vero let out a loud laugh, making her whole body vibrate. She knew that without her things wouldn't be the same for me. You can't live without me. Her cocky tone was evident. Don't flatter yourself, I said, releasing her quickly. I only say the truth, Yaregui. I went back to my desk where I accommodated myself for a few instants. I simply still couldn't believe that that would really happen. For years as a deputy, my big goal was to leave that town and go to a big city, where everything was much more intense. I was absolutely sure that the city of New York would change my life. Packing bags was never my forte. I was now surrounded by things scattered around my bedroom. From clothes, shoes, personal effects and all the necessary items for my going to New York. It had already been a week since I received the letter of acceptance by the Deputy Roger, and my move to the capital was already scheduled for the next day. I was incredibly anxious. After all, that has always been my dream, and achieving it was being wonderful. "You can't forget anything," my dad said upon entering my bedroom. Michael Yaregui was with a broad smile, yet sad eyes. From the moment that I informed about my transfer, I could notice his clear change of mood. Of course he had been happy with my professional fulfillment, but having me leave the house so suddenly wasn't in his plans. "I'm looking at everything. I don't want to forget anything," I said as I folded some pieces of clothing to put in the suitcase. Thank you for your comments and thumbs up under the video. If you like it, be sure to subscribe to the channel. There are many intriguing, exciting and hot books ahead. LGBT novels, detectives and dramas. Thank you.